the Global Dialogue on Women Entrepreneurship, co-organized by HKTDC and the Hong Kong Federation of Youth Groups, HKFYG. This is Patricia Yang, and it's my pleasure to be your MC and moderator today. Well, I'm very excited today to moderate this panel because I'm going to learn from some of the very successful women entrepreneurs with us. And now I would like to invite them to come on stage. Please join me in welcoming, first of all, Mrs. Tonya McNeal-Weary, founder and managing director of IBS Global Consulting, Inc. Please welcome. Hello, Tonya. Lovely to have you. Next, we have Ms. Jenny Shen, co-founder and CEO at Foodplus. Please welcome. And we also have Ms. Ming, co-founder and chief clinical audiologist of Tandle Limited. Please welcome. Wow, before we start, just a warm reminder to our audience, you're much welcome to post questions on Slido platform if you have any, and we'll be able to direct the questions to our speakers later on. Well, welcome, the three of you. Well, we're so happy to have the three of you today with us, and I can't wait to learn from you, ladies. Well, why don't we start by having each of you introduce yourselves and your business? Why don't we start from Tonya?
Yes. First of all, I want to say thank you for having me. It's such a pleasure to be here. My second time back in Hong Kong, and I'm happy to be here. So thank you so much. My name is Tonya McNeal-Weary. I am the founder and managing director of IBS Global Consulting. We are an international business consultancy. We are based in the United States, Detroit, Michigan, and we focus primarily on helping SME companies expand into global markets around the world. So why do we focus on SMEs? A lot of times small companies, they think they're too small to go global. So we want to show them that there are opportunities in various markets around the world for their products and services, no matter the size of their business. My company was started in 2009. Outside of that, I'm also the founder of a nonprofit organization, Michigan Association for Female Entrepreneurs. I started this organization back in 2003 when I moved to Detroit from Chicago, Illinois. And I really saw a gap in the market in terms of the resources that was available for startup women entrepreneurs. And so that was my motivation for starting the organization. We have been going strong over 20 years and have supported over 2,500 women in starting and setting up businesses. So again, I'm so happy to be here, happy to share my story, and thank you so much.
Wow, thank you. It's very interesting, and well, lovely to know that you're doing so much for women entrepreneurs. As a new mom and also women entrepreneur, I really can't wait to learn more from you. Thank you, Tonya. And next, shall we have Jenny?
Thank you, Patricia, and thank you, Tonya. It's also a very great pleasure for me to be here. I'm the co-founder of Foodplus, a Hong Kong cooking school for kids, for children. What makes our school special is that not only do we teach children to make specific dishes, but we teach all about food. Like where is food from? Like the specific places it's from, the culture behind, the stories behind each dish, the science with each dish. And a lot of our customers are families, including young kids starting from the age of 3. So Tonya told me that she was surprised at the young age. So, and at our school, we focus on educational pillars like social, science, environmental. We want to empower young kids and let them know what they can do. So I think the reason why we started this company with my co-founder is because we think that cooking can bring people joy and also empower people. A story from myself is that I used to be an accountant, and then it used to be like very routine and tedious work. And then there were often times, like each day after work, I felt there weren't so much accomplishment. You know, not every day is exciting. But then when I returned to the kitchen and I started cooking, I felt that that dish could be my accomplishment for the day. And I felt the satisfaction. And I hope that cooking can bring satisfaction to our younger generation as well. So this is the main target, the main value of our organization.
Right, that's interesting. And how amazing is that you can turn your interest or your passion into your business. That's wonderful. Next, shall we have Ming?
Yes, it's my pleasure to be here. Thank you for inviting. And nice to meet you, Tonya and Jenny. I'm Ming Chen. I'm a co-founder and chief Audiologist of Tandle. So my company Tandle focuses in bringing hearing aids to a lower price so people can afford to have a hearing aid that is really a necessity for their daily needs. And because in Hong Kong, the hearing aid prices are very high, people cannot afford to hear, basically. So we bring the price down so people can afford it and hear it. And we also focus on giving quality of healthcare to them and also conducting all the hearing tests that are needed and bringing the service back to quality.
Right, right. I find the similarities between our three speakers today. They're all doing very meaningful businesses, and they're supporting different, groups of people that will need help. And one of the difference, though, that we are from different cultural backgrounds. So that brings us to the first question. I would like you to actually share with us what are your observations, or if you have any personal experience on some common challenges for female entrepreneurship, for those of the female entrepreneurs from the US and those from Hong Kong, maybe from China, from our Asian culture. What are the common challenges that you find we'll face? Let's start from Tonya.
Yes, so in my business has taken me to over 20 countries around the world. And in that, I have met with hundreds, thousands of women all around the world sharing this exact same, stories and experiences. And one of the things I found out is no matter how far apart our worlds are, the challenges that we face as women are still the same. So some of the common challenges that we face in the United States and other women around the world is access to capital. I think that is one of the major challenges for women. The amount of funding that is that's given to women is nowhere near the amount that's given to our male counterparts. So it makes it really difficult for women-owned companies to grow, to expand their businesses, because they just can't get the capital, the funding to do so. So that's one of the major challenges that we see in the United States. We have a lot of angel investors and other financial organizations that's working to change that and working to make sure that women do get funding, but it's still a challenge and it's still difficult for a lot of women. So I would say that's probably one of the major challenges. And as I travel and I speak to women all over the world, it's their challenges as well.
Okay, for women entrepreneurs to get capital and the funding support, especially for starting their business. How about Jenny and Ming? Would you like to share on that side?
Yes, I think for capital, I'm not. We started just for 1 year, and I envisaged this, but fortunately we haven't encountered this difficulty yet. I think for me, the most difficult part is the work-life balance and the family priorities at this point.
Right.
As a startup with 1 year experience, we spend a lot of time, really a lot of time nurturing this baby we have, this company. And especially in my industry where I serve parents, they come up, their inquiries come up at 10 p.m. in general, okay? When they settle the kids. And then they start calling. And then they start messaging you. So for me, the time is very hard to grasp. And it's incredibly difficult to shift my mind from work to other things, other priorities like family. And then I think I'm very fortunate to be working with my husband on this entrepreneur, on the company. But then it also changes our relationship dynamic a little bit, apart from being a couple, we are also partners in this. So I would like to, we could further discuss this, or if you have any advice or the audience, we can also share on this as well.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Jenny. It's really interesting to have your life partner to also be your business partner. I'm sure there must be advantages and some of the drawbacks. We'll talk about that later on. How about you, Mei Wai? Do you face any challenges, or do you think capital is also one of your challenges, or other challenges that you face during your entrepreneurship journey?
Yes. So Tandle just got funding support from the Hong Kong Federation of Youth Group. So thank you very much for supporting us. So we are one of the winning teams for the Entrepreneur Programme. So we have 6 groups of winning, and then we receive 100K grant for supporting our entrepreneur project. So thank you for that. So lucky we have that grant. So we have the support from this non-profit organization in Hong Kong, so we can gain the capital and the funds and support that we have. But before that, we were very struggling and difficult in expanding and looking to run our business.
So congratulations on
Thank
getting
you.
the funding support. And going back to the first challenge that Tonya talked about, which is capital, the access to capital. So what would be your advice to female entrepreneurs or people who are starting their business, especially they're women, to actually help them to have a higher chance to get funding support from investors or angel investors and so on?
Yeah, I think mentorship is really important. So another challenge for women is actually access to, a good advisor, a good mentor who can help and guide you in some of those areas and help you, put together a winning pitch so that you can get your business funded. I think a lot of times as women, we're afraid to ask for support and for help. And I'm here to say, don't be afraid to ask for help and seek out a really good mentor or advisor who can help you along this journey, because it can be a tough journey. It's not this glamorous thing that we maybe see on social media, but in the background and what you don't see is a lot of hard work, sweat, tears. As you said, it's, trying to find the work-life balance. So seeking out good support and mentorship, and speaking with entrepreneurs who have done it and who have achieved the funding, and find out what they did and how they're doing it and get some advice from them as well.
Learn from the successful cases and try to ask them what they have done and look for support. That's really important. I think that it's more important for like women entrepreneurs from Asian culture. We're more, inclined to just keeping things to ourselves. Well, women entrepreneurs in general, if you would agree, are more independent, and especially for like Asian women, they try to, I've got this, I would like try to solve this problem myself, but actually we can look for help and seek for assistance, right? So Jenny, what's your take on that?
I'd also like to share about, seeking for advice. So I think a very important lesson I got from my dad at a very young age, I think it was in college when I needed to go to the college professor to ask for a referral letter. And I'm sure most of you have experienced this. I was really, really shy. I was thinking, okay, what am I going to ask? How am I going to do it? And then one very good piece of advice my dad gave me is that, most people in this world would love to help each other. It shows that we have power, and it shows, we are human after all. We love to help people. If you have a good cause, a good purpose, you can convince people. People are willing to help. And then I have kept this in my mind, throughout my career, professional career, and when I started business. And I find it really helpful. And I think, to many entrepreneurs here or even at a booth, I think we shouldn't be shy, We should be brave and we should seek help. And then I am very fortunate. I think we are very lucky, in fact, to have this opportunity, this stage in particular, to demonstrate, to tell the world, to show our products, our services. So I think I'm also very thankful to HKFYG for this as well. I think this is what I find most, insightful and helpful, and I want to tell young entrepreneurs, especially young girls out there who want to start their business.
Yeah, just be open-minded and just feel free to share whatever ideas that you have, and you may be able to get the assistance that you need. How about you, Ming?
Yeah, we also get mentorship assistance from the HKFYG, and then we have the other support like Tonya. We can look for the support from YouTube or other websites. There are tons and tons of materials that you can look up for free, even if it's a book or website that we can look for assistance and all the resources we have. It's actually young women want to hold a startup. We don't know where to look for resources, but there are actually tons of resources around us. We have the HKFYG, and then we are here in this HKTDC booth here. And it's also helping us to expand and look for more opportunities.
Yeah, and
it's actually everywhere.
Yeah, it's important that we have this community that's supportive. We have like organizations like Trade Development Council, HKFYG, and other like nonprofits or government organizations that really encourage the spirit of entrepreneurship and to help young entrepreneurs to succeed. That's very important. Well, going back to the challenges that we face, I think one of the things that we would agree that there will be gender stereotypes or biases in starting up our businesses or in the specific industry that you're in. So would you like to share with us the ecosystem of entrepreneurship in the US from Tonya, and those from Hong Kong? You can share your observation or your experience with us. Is there any, gender stereotypes or biases in your specific industry, or in the US? Is there anything that's obvious that you have observed? Tonya.
Well, certainly there are some stereotypes, and although we have come a long way, we still have so much further to go.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times, and I'm in a male-dominated industry, working in the management consulting industry, and I think a lot of times women are just not taken serious in a high-power role or position because we're looked at as we're supposed to be at home and taking care of the kids and cooking the meals and taking care of the husband.
Yeah.
And so a lot of times women are just not taken as serious. And I find that we as women have to work 10 times as hard to prove ourselves and our capabilities versus our male counterparts. So that's one of the things that I see across the United States, and just women owning that power and standing in that power, being able to walk into a room and being taken serious and not being looked at as the assistant, but as the CEO and the founder of a company.
And I would say, not sure if you would agree, is that one thing is that women tend to not recognize their own ability sometimes, and they would think that, oh, because someone else helped me, because I was lucky, and because some of the efforts from your teammates. Of course there is a team behind you, but still it's good for us to remind ourselves to actually recognize our own abilities and efforts, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I was just talking at an event a few days ago about that, and I think one of the biggest barriers that we as women face is ourselves. And it's that limiting belief that we're not good enough, we're not wise enough, we're not smart enough, we're not strong enough. So I think once we face that person in the mirror that's holding us back the most, that's our biggest obstacle, is ourselves. And getting over that and really believing in our capabilities and believing in our strengths and what we can do and the value that we bring to the table, the diversity in our ideas and the initiatives that we can bring to a table, I think we'll be off to a better start.
Right, that's another thing that we can remind ourselves.
Yeah. I couldn't agree more. I think it all goes in the mind, I'm very fortunate to be in the education industry, which is like I think it's pretty equal for male and female. But I do have some instances as an entrepreneur, which I feel a little bit intimidated. But it's in the mind, actually. So the story I would like to share is that so we do cooking classes, and sometimes we have cooperations with certain restaurants as well. So during some of my first meetings with restaurants, I would feel a little bit intimidated because usually, for restaurant owners, a lot of them are males and very experienced, seniors. And so before that meeting, I would get a little bit anxious in the morning, and I would start running it in my head over and over again. And then at the first meetings, I kind of labeled myself, okay, I am young, I'm a woman, I have no experience. I'm a chef, but I don't work in a restaurant. So I feel I get very nervous when I walk in the room. But then, as I do this more often, I feel that no, actually my counterparts, they don't really care. Sometimes it's in my mind. You need to be brave yourself. You need to have confidence in yourself. It's sometimes I would say the business environment is very pragmatic. They don't actually really care that much. They want to get things done. As long as it's done, it's okay. You're a woman, you're unexperienced. It's okay. It doesn't really matter. But I think, first of all, as women, we need to be, have that confidence in ourselves. And if we believe in ourselves, then nothing else matters that much. Don't be scared.
Yeah, be confident and be brave. Yeah, we can do it.
Yeah.
Okay, Ming, what about you?
Yeah. So in the health industry, it's usually female dominated actually, but then for the managing level and the entrepreneur, it's actually mostly male to be the manager or the startup owner. So also it's very similar to Jenny's case. So we have male dominate for the managing class. So it's harder for females to start a business, and we tell customers that, oh, I'm an audiologist, and then I'm going to help you to do hearing tests today, and then people are going to think, oh, you're young, female, and they think that we're less trustworthy and less professional. But after they meet me, and then we have a consultation after, and then they will feel that I'm actually very caring and professional. So it actually takes time for them to get to know more about us, and then after that, they will gain the trust and be more confident in us. It's actually just a small barrier, and then we can overcome it if we have the trust and caring heart.
Okay, you all actually have already answered my follow-up question, because the next question that I would want to ask was that what are the strategies that you have used to actually overcome these challenges? But most of you already answered, like be patient and let them know that you're professional. Just it may take some time, but they will eventually know. And both Jenny and Tonya talked about how we should remind ourselves that we are confident, we're capable enough, and that we should just let people know that we can do things that we are supposed to do. And well, back to women entrepreneurship, and when we talk about gender stereotypes in the industry, not only within their own industries, but sometimes as an entrepreneur ourselves, we will face different challenges, or people may not be able to place 100% of trust to women entrepreneurs. Actually, we received a question on Slido that is similar, and the person is asking, in different countries and regions, women are often perceived as a disadvantaged group in entrepreneurship. Do you agree?
Yes, in the United States, we have what we call minority groups. So whether it's Asian American, African American women, those are looked at as the minority groups. Those women tend to have even more challenges if you're in one of those minority groups.
Yeah.
So on top of the already challenges, just being a woman, now you're in this minority group. Maybe you're Asian American, maybe you're African American woman, now you experience even greater challenges. So yes, that is true in the United States. They do have a lot of programs. They're really trying to support more minority-owned women entrepreneurs through various different government programs. Various different ecosystems are getting involved as well. They have contract opportunities that's specifically for minority-owned businesses. So in order for your company to even qualify to submit a proposal for that, you have to show that you are in one of those minority groups. We also have certifications where you can become a certified minority woman-owned business. And with that certification, you can leverage that as well to get more customers, more government contracts, and more opportunities.
Okay, Jenny?
I think in Hong Kong, we're pretty fortunate. I think for Hong Kong, in Cantonese, we have a very specific term, 港女. I don't know what it means to you, 港女, but I'm actually pretty proud of this. In Hong Kong, 港女 is perceived as being very strong, capable, confident, independent. And I think we are actually in a pretty good place. I'm pretty lucky to be born in Hong Kong, to be born in this place at this time. I feel that we are in one of the best times in history where women and men are as equals. So I'm very positive, actually, at this moment.
Well, I hope I live to see that day in the United States where women and men are equal.
Mei Wai?
Yeah, we're pretty much equal, but in still some higher levels in companies or more managing areas, it's actually male more dominant. For example, like for the judges, when I went to the competition, it's also male dominated. Only one of them is a female. Yeah. So, but we can still work on it and then improve the area. So that's why we have this entrepreneurship dialogue here today.
I think as when as the time goes by, I think gender equality is actually improved. It has improved a lot, like across different cultures. And of course, in Hong Kong, we see a better dynamic in the entrepreneurship or in the startup arena, in the whole ecosystem. And well, when we talk about women, well, I would not say we are in a disadvantaged group in entrepreneurship, but I would say we're different. I think male and female, we both have our own strengths and weaknesses, and we actually can see women as complements to our male counterparts, right? And on that note, I would also like to have each of you to share with us, what do you think our male allies or our male counterparts can do to help foster the inclusivity and to help us attain a more balanced level for both women and male in the entrepreneurship world?
Yeah, well, as I look out into the audience and I see a number of males sitting here, that's a great start. That's where we need to start, bringing men into the conversation. We can't talk about women's equality and men are not involved in that discussion. So it's really about learning and understanding. It's the exchange of information. And I think the more we bring them into these conversations, the better they will understand our positions. And I think we can actually start moving towards some progress. But I think when we talk about women's empowerment, we talk about women's equality, we're forgetting that the men are a huge component in that.
Yeah.
And they need to be involved in these dialogues and conversations.
Exactly.
So just seeing the number of men here, I'm happy to see that, and that's a great start.
Let's give a big round of applause to our male participants here. Yeah, thank you for being here for us. And we would love to let you know more about what the challenges that we face and actually some of the, habits that female entrepreneurs may have. Some of those are bad habits, like the ones that we talked about, limiting ourselves. So it may be your turn to help us shine better. Well, Jenny, what's your take on that?
Yes, I am surprised as well. I imagined, okay, there would be ladies sitting everywhere. But so I think what Ming mentioned is very valid. Like the management right now is still mostly male dominated. So let's say from the junior or senior levels, they're getting there. We're getting there. But at the top management, it's still male dominated. And that's why so many decisions we need you to be part of. Right. I think one of them, as I mentioned earlier, is the work-life balance, the family priorities. And I think we're getting better at it after COVID, with the remote working and the flexible working hours, and which helps women and also men to balance their work and life and family life. So I think we are getting there. And I totally agree with what Tonya mentioned. We need more conversations on this and to discuss this openly.
So, and the first thing that we need is that we open up ourselves to share with our male counterparts. How about you, Ming?
Yeah, I think we need to be honest with our strength and weakness, and then ask our partners or counterpartners to support our weakness, and then we use our strength to support them. So maybe male are more helpful in maybe managing place, and then we can do more in the caring part, so to talk to the customers and to refine our projects, for the finer parts. And then for the big picture, we might ask male to help or give us more support, and mostly maybe verbally they can more praise and be more supportive around our co-working space.
Jenny, you have something to add?
It kind of reminds me of our classes, where we have kids, and they are not very disciplined sometimes, and how I, myself, and my co-founder Jackie here, we take different roles. For example, the kids, they would be more scared of the boss, which they think is Jackie, a very putting up a mean face. And then for me, like I'm like the tender mom. I think it's about how you align with your counterparts. Okay, what roles you take, how you manage this place. You each have a piece to the puzzle, and then we can work it out, right? So I think it's like a dance, it's a dance. We have our different dance moves, but we can work it out together.
And I also think that it's important if you are, if you own a company, if you have for the men in the audience, if you have a company, hire women, put women on your board, put women in position of power. Don't be afraid to hire and promote women. That's one key way that they can start to change and shift the dynamics of the gender equality.
Because we can actually be good team players, right? That brings us to, actually just now, meanwhile, I talked about we have our own strengths and weaknesses, and we need to be honest with that. And we actually, as female entrepreneurs, we have like our strengths and weaknesses bringing to the business world to complement our male counterparts, right? So would you like to, each of you, share a little bit about what do you think are the strengths and weaknesses of women entrepreneurs, and how can we leverage that to help businesses to succeed?
Yeah, I think women, we think different, so we can bring a lot of different ideas, creativity to a company, to projects. So I think that's really key. And for a lot of us women, that can also be one of the challenges, is that we don't know how to tap into that knowledge and that creativity that we have. But we have so much to bring to the table, so many insights, because we are different and we do think different. We're not just some emotional creatures, but we do bring a lot to the table. And I think that once they open the door for that, diversity of knowledge, experience, and ideas, they'll see that women could actually be very valuable in a lot of different ways and in very different parts of an organization. And some of the challenges, I think, for women, talking about the entrepreneur side, we need to not focus so much on the destination. And I think that's been a challenge for women. Oh, I'm not there yet. I haven't did this. I'm not successful. But more so focus on the journey and the learning experiences that come from that journey, because that's what's going to help you succeed. Success does not come without challenges and some failures and mistakes. So we need to really not be afraid of failure. And I think a lot of times we hold ourselves back because we're afraid of failure. And we need to embrace failure and use that failure as a stepping stone. Use that as a learning experience to improve, to be better. And especially after what we all learned from COVID-19, we need to be sustainable. We need to build sustainable businesses. And so in order for us to do that, it's going to take a lot of learning, a lot of mistakes, a lot of trial, error, and figuring out what can we do better tomorrow than what we did yesterday.
Learn from our experiences. Well, I'd like to just share a little bit on how we actually talk about failure. I don't like the label of failure, because it's actually just one of the life lessons that we have, because of those experiences that we can learn from, that we can do better, like Tonya talked about, I just mentioned. We can improve next time and we can do better. So do not label the experience of yours as a failure. They're just like your lessons that you learned from. All right? Yeah, thank you, Tonya. And Jenny, what about you? What do you think?
I think a very important strength I see in female leaders is that we have a very good ability in collecting information. Really. So some of my teachers are female, and it's very surprising to me how much information they can collect from a parent, in 5 minutes. Wow, how do they know so much? I think as women we have a talent, in communication and in collecting information, in spreading words as well. So I think this is a very important attribute that I value in my employees. Their advice, their opinion. So someone who is very good at collecting information will derive very good advice, in my opinion. It will contribute a lot to the company. And I also think this is true for different entrepreneurs. When we get together, when we are sitting here today, we have a lot of information collected, we have a lot of lessons learned, and then we love to share, exactly like we're doing today. So I think this is an important attribute we should value.
We enjoy sharing.
Yes, we enjoy it.
Yeah. How about you, Mei Wai?
So when we were young, we were actually told to be a good girl, and when we grow up, so we try to be appealing to all the people we meet, and then how we turn this weakness to our strength is that we use that as our compassionate and learn to feel other people's emotions and then walk in their shoes so that we can help them better, to be more caring and patient. So we use our weakness and turn it into our strength so we can analyze their information and help them better and then know their feelings so that we can be more inclusive with our customers or our partners.
Not sure if you ladies would agree. I would say like women in the business will more be like an embodiment of like strength and the soft side all at once. So we can be, independent, strong, and the boss or managerial level, but at the same time we can show people our soft side, which the male counterparts may find it difficult sometimes because they don't tend to show their weakness all the time, or if they want to seek help. But we are in a better position, or because that we are women, we may be able to be that person to seek help. And also like you all talked about how we can spread words, how we can be the side of compassionate one, and how we also make good use of our creativity to help the business, right? Jenny, you have something to add?
Yes, I think what you mentioned here is great. It's like we have more hats. We have more hats to put on, just like in the closet. We women have more hats.
Yeah.
So we have more different roles to play, and I myself enjoy this very much.
Yeah, speaking of the hats that we have, actually we have another question from our audience. The question asks, how do you balance work and family without feeling guilty? Let's have Jenny answer first, shall we?
I myself, I don't have kids at the moment, but I would love to. I would love to. I foresee it. I think at this moment it's incredibly hard, especially for a startup. In the first year, I think I dedicate 90% or 99%, 95% of my time to the business, and then I leave the extra 5% for everything else. Everything else, friends, family, the house. How do I balance this? That I'm not very good at it, to be honest. I have to be very honest. I'm not very good at it. I'm lucky because I work with my husband. He's my partner. He understands the situation. But I have also spoken with many other entrepreneurs today who work with their whose partner is not involved in the business, who has a full-time job, who might not understand as much. So I think for me, it's all about communication with my partner, my business partner, my life partner. But and then we shifting roles, taking care of the family, entertaining, other stuff. But then I imagine I imagine things harder for people who have kids, whose partners are not working in their business. So I'm not sure if Tonya, do you have anything to share on that?
Yes, absolutely. Because for me, I'm not trying to find work-life balance. I just want to find balance. I just want to find balance in my life overall. And I think what's really important that we tend to forget about, it's not just about the, taking care of the home and the kids. We have to take care of ourselves. And a lot of times as entrepreneurs, we're so busy taking care of everybody else. We're taking care of the employees, the job, the business, the kids, the husband. And we forget about ourselves. And we tend to just run until we run on empty. And then we have this burnout where we just can't go any further. And then we have, anxiety and depression and all these other things that's, mental health issues, which is really a big issue for women entrepreneurs, just entrepreneurs in general right now in the United States. So I really think it's important for us to take care of ourselves. We have to take that time to make sure that we are physically, mentally, and emotionally healthy to run a business, to do anything. I think that's number one.
Yeah, taking care of ourselves. Ming, why?
Yeah, it's one of our takeaway from the woman program that we attend, me and Jenny. So we learn about how to put ourselves first. Actually, we take care of ourselves, and that's how we can take care of others. So we need to put ourselves first, and then get ourselves ready to to more challenges. So we learned how we can take a step back, actually, take care of ourselves by having little meditation session every day, maybe just 5 or 10 minutes, so we can organize ourselves and also our minds and get ready to face the world.
Mm-hmm. And you talked about guilt and feeling guilty. I used to do that. That's no longer in existence. Right. So it's like you're tired, you're exhausted, you've worked all day, and it's like, oh, I really don't feel like cooking dinner tonight, but you get that guilt feeling, and then no, that doesn't happen anymore. It's like, okay, we're ordering takeout. Mm-hmm. I'm tired. I just can't do it anymore. So I think we just really have to find that balance overall as entrepreneurs.
Just don't exhaust ourselves, right?
Yes.
Yeah, we need that, me time and, self-care as well.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of you talked about how we as women entrepreneurs, just after we talked about how we do our balance work. The art of balancing. I think one of the very important things is that we have a support partner. That's important. Be it your business partner or your partner at home. Being a women entrepreneur is difficult sometimes if you don't have a supportive and understanding partner. Just a short sharing, if you guys don't mind. Because, well, for me, myself, I run 2 businesses. At the same time, I am a new mother. I just gave birth to my baby, who is just 3 months. And it's important for us to get that balance because as women entrepreneurs, I think you'll agree that we get the sense of achievement and the satisfying feeling from the things that we do. And without that, if we want to just give all the time to the family, and then on the other side of us would feel empty, we don't have that sense of pleasure from work because we get the achievement from there. So I think it's all about time management, and that we should allow ourselves to get the sense of accomplishment and achievement from work as well before going back to take care of our kids, because we can also tell ourselves that we can become the role model for our children. Do you agree? Yeah? So just don't feel the guilt. Don't be guilty about anything. We are just ourselves too, and we need to care for ourselves, and we make ourselves a priority.
Yeah, and I'll just add, if we are going to feel guilty about not taking care of ourselves. That's what we should feel guilty about, and turning that around.
Yeah, that's correct. I totally agree with that. Well, and talking about role models, do you have any role models on your journey becoming an entrepreneur yourself?
Certainly, absolutely. Too many to really name. But I wouldn't be where I am had it not been for some key people that played an instrumental role in my journey, because it can be very difficult as an entrepreneur. And because I had moved from the city of Chicago to the city of Detroit, and I moved because I met my husband now of over 20 years, but I didn't know anyone but my husband at the time. And here I am in a new city, and I'm starting a new business. And so, it's just, it was a real challenge for me, and finding that support system. And that's what really motivated me to start the organization. But I think having a tribe, and I talked about this a few days ago about building that tribe. And sometimes that tribe may be external. It may not be your spouse or your family member or your friends. Sometimes they can be they can be support, or they can be the naysayers that's saying, hey, why are you doing that? I don't think you should be doing this. You're never going to make it at that. So you hear all the negativity. So for me, it was really important to have that support system of not just my husband, but also the people that I kind of built around me in my community, my tribe, so to speak. So various different, whether it was a professor at my university where I studied, whether it was someone from a organization that supported me in my growth of my company, but a number of people played a key role, and that's really important. So, seek out that support system, build that tribe, and keeping in mind that tribe may be outside. So I flew in from the United States, and you hear that on the plane when they tell you to look for the exit rows, and the closest one may be behind you. So think about that when you're looking at your tribe. It may not be the people you think that's going to support you the most. Could be a stranger, could be someone you meet here, could be your biggest ally and your biggest support.
Choose our surroundings, who speak to us would really influence how we think, right? Jenny, What about you?
I think my role model list just keeps adding. Because when I started my business, I explored outside the comfort zone. I was a professional accountant for 10 years. And then I think after, starting from the 11th year, suddenly the role model list keeps growing. Started growing. And then because I meet a lot of new people, very experienced people, and even today, I think this events like today is great because we get to meet a lot of new people. And at first, you might not know how you will relate, but then, put that name card in your pocket first, mark it down. Someday, it's very funny. It will come back to you. It's another occasions, another opportunities, and when you have other ideas, and then you can reach out back to them, or they will reach out to you.
Your role model can be anyone. Or someone that you just met. Okay, Mei Wai, what about you?
Yeah, it's same. So my list keeps going and going, and we can't even stop to name a few. Like Mei Lee here, and she has always been my role model since I met her. So she keeps helping young female entrepreneurs and help us to grow. And she's also one of my role models. And we can look for people around us. And even if we talk to ourselves, sometimes the stronger us is also our role model when we feel weak.
We can be our own role models. Wow, very inspiring from the three of you. Well, the next two questions I would like to be more specific for the three of you. First of all, for Jenny and Mei Wai, because we know that you have taken part in the Asians Women Leaders Program, right? So what were the things that you find impressive, or what the experience special for you, and what was new and insightful for you that you learned from the program?
Yeah, we met a lot of other young entrepreneurs around the world in other Asia countries, and we see that we have some similarities, even if maybe they are in a more advanced step in entrepreneuring. They have a maybe medium-sized company, and they have 3 children, and they have everything around them, so much success. But then we have similar difficulties still. We're still insecure, or we struggle to manage our work-life balance. So when we see that, we know that we're not far away from success. It's actually, we face the same thing, and we are all actually very similar. When we get things done step by step, and we'll actually get there. So it's very lucky to meet all of them and see them as also one of my role models.
Okay, Jenny, what about you?
I think an important lesson throughout the program was to know yourself, how the mind and your body works. It's very interrelated. We have some very routine, like daily exercises, which helps, raise up your energy level a bit. Some days you just really need that. And then I think throughout the program, I knew myself a little bit better, my emotions, and also what goes up in the mind. For example, the story that I just shared with you, like being very intimidated, getting ready to meet a certain person, and how it runs in my mind. I start to evaluate those kind of experiences. Before, I was unconscious, but it happens all the time. We get excited, we spend a lot of time worrying, and then for nothing. And then throughout this program, I started to sort it out, evaluate it, and kind of reduce that amount of time wasted. I think it's very valuable for me.
Yeah, my husband sometimes tells me that 99% of our worries will not happen at all. Yeah. And you just spend all the time worrying about that many things. Right, so thank you for sharing the experience on the program. And the next question goes to Tonya. We know that you help businesses to go internationally. So what are your tips or advice to women entrepreneurs who would like to have their ventures grow internationally?
Yeah, so in the work that I do with IBS Global Consulting, as I mentioned, I travel to countries around the world, attending trade events just like this, taking parts in trade missions and trade delegations. And one of the things I noticed in participating in those events is the lack of women that was present. And so about 5 years ago, I started an initiative called Women Going Global. And the initiative is to help expose more women entrepreneurs to international markets, a lot of the trade missions are focused on male-dominated industries. So they're taking sector-specific groups to countries abroad to do business, but those sectors are highly dominated by men. So that's why there's no women in the room. So about 5 years ago, I started organizing female-focused trade delegations to events like this all around the world. So focusing on cosmetics and beauty and those products that would attract more women, and taking women with me to various countries around the world. Actually, I'm here today as part of a U.S. delegation, and I have a group of companies, and I'm happy that we do have some women-owned companies with us here. But that's one of the ways that I would recommend for women to expose themselves to new markets, is just to travel to events like this and trade shows around the world. If there's a particular market where you have interest, you think there's a potential for your product or service, travel, be a part of the trade show. It's a great opportunity, and it's a very cost-effective way to test the market. If you're exhibiting, you can demonstrate you can have a demonstration of your product or service. You can get feedback. You can see what the response is before making the investment and jumping right in. You can test the market in a very cost-effective way by being at events just like this, talking to people, identifying where the needs are, and how your product or service can meet those needs.
Yeah, just go out to see and to be seen, right? That's
Absolutely
important.
Yeah.
Jenny, what about you?
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
The question is what we can do to help women businesses to go internationally. That question was from Tanya. Do you have any advice for female entrepreneurs, though, if they want to, grow their business?
I think I'm still very, very humble on this topic because, I haven't gone internationally yet, but I would love to. I think it's about, but as a first step, an important first step, I think is building a network first. I think throughout this program that we had, it's very valuable because we had a chance to meet with different women in different parts of the world. And I think when one day I need to go internationally, I need to connect all those dots together. And I think also to further grow my business, I agree with Tonya that mentorship is very important. And then I do see the value in the service that you provide. And I think it would be very helpful for young entrepreneurs.
To network, build your own network.
To build network, to have mentorship, to have guidance in order to, further develop their business.
Yeah, and I also want to add, just, looking around at all of the various different countries represented just at this event. And as you mentioned, it's all about building on those connections. So even if you're not ready or thinking about going global today, just making connections from all of the people here at this event from countries around the world who maybe next month, maybe next year, maybe in the next 2 years, you can reach back out to for some collaboration or business opportunity or expansion opportunity. So this here is a great platform. And again, I'm so happy to be a part of it. Thank you so much.
We're so happy to have you as well. Wei, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, we can use this exhibition as a great opportunity, and also don't forget about the internet. So every time when we remind ourselves in our COVID time, maybe we meet more people during Zoom meetings in COVID than here in real person. We have to use our technologies to know more people and then connect ourselves with people around the world. It's much easier. And our Women Entrepreneurs Program was also in via Zoom. So that's how we met all the people. So yeah, online and offline, we need to use both ways to meet more people, to get our connections before we start.
Make connections, no matter what ways that we use. Okay, I know we only have 3 more minutes left, so one final question for each of you. Not really a question, but if I would ask you to give a word or just a short piece of advice to female entrepreneurs or those who are aspired to becoming an entrepreneur, what would be the piece of advice that you would give to her? Tonya?
I would definitely say it's time for us as women to step outside that comfort zone. Nothing exciting is going to happen inside that box that we put ourselves in. So it's only when we step outside that box and we start to explore and we open up our minds and we start to think. And as you mentioned earlier, it's really about the mindset. And we have to start, I'm not sure here if you're familiar with affirmations and positive affirmations. And I'm a firm believer in that. What we tell ourselves is what we're going to attract.
Yes.
So if we tell ourselves, no, I can't start a business, oh, I'm too small, I don't have this, that's what's going to happen because we're telling ourselves that, right? And so I think it's really time for us to step outside the box and to overcome whatever negative self-talk that's in our heads, because a lot of times it's just us holding ourselves back and really believing in yourselves and your dreams. But I do want to be honest and say that it is a tough role. It's not an easy journey being an entrepreneur. There's going to be a lot of bumps in the road, going to be a lot of twists and turns. I'm in a totally different industry than what I first started in entrepreneurship. I had a totally different business, but I had to pivot. And that's the thing, we have to be resilient. None of us expected COVID to happen, but it happened. So either you're going to lay down and give up, or you're going to get up and you're going to fight. And so we have to be resilient as entrepreneurs. If you have to make some changes in your business model, if you have to pivot, that's what we do, but we don't give up. We keep going and we find another way. Just like that GPS, it will reroute you. So recalculating. So sometimes you will recalculate and you will go in a different direction. But whatever direction you end up is the direction that you're supposed to be. And I firmly believe that because I'm here today.
Take that step and be resilient. All right. Jenny, what do you?
I think my advice is never be afraid to ask. Never be afraid to ask for advice, for help, for opportunities. Because if you don't ask, you're never going to get it. If you ask, the worst scenario is just no, you know. But it can happen. You know, things happen because you ask for it. So don't be afraid. Ask for the opportunities. Go meet the people you want to meet. Yeah, you can come to my stall at 1D 35, 34, okay? So don't be afraid. Just ask, approach people. That would be my main advice.
All right, just ask. Okay, don't be afraid. Ming, what about you?
I think, yes, we need to be brave. We make a step. And then also, we need to be grateful for people who help us. If we take a step, the whole world is going to help you to get to where you want to. Yeah, it's always around to be brave and going for it.
Yeah.
And I do want to add to that about being brave and taking that first step. So once we get to where we want to get to, we have to remember that there's women behind us that's also afraid to take that step. So we have to reach back to those women and pull them up with us as well. So we must, as women, support each other. We must empower one another. We have to stop looking at each other as competition and more as partners. And I think we would be on to a better path.
Yeah,
it's all about collaboration.
Women.
Yeah,
yes.
Women supporting women. Yeah. Empowered women empower women.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Thank you so much. Once again, a big round of applause to our panel, please. I learned a lot from you all. Well, why don't we have a photo together before you leave the stage? Yeah, let's stand together for a photo. And I would love to invite our audience to give them another big round of applause again for sharing so much from their experience and their advice for aspiring entrepreneurs and female entrepreneurs in particular. Well, me, myself, I learned a lot from them as well, and I really enjoyed this session. All right, thank you very much once again, Tonya, Jenny, and Ming. Thank you. You may now return to your seats. Thank you very much.
At SmoothBiz, we're on a mission to make business easier for small and mid-sized enterprises. Introducing Smooth, your all-in-one digital workspace for company secretarial management. And now, meet Smooth ESG, your AI intelligence tool for ESG readiness. Navigate the complexities of environmental, social, and governance factors with ease. Join SmoothBiz for a seamless journey to growth. Visit our website to explore Smooth and Smooth ESG today.